Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Good morning, Rockingham, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. We're back. It's October 14th. We're halfway through October almost. Do you believe it?
I know, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
But what a beautiful fall.
Yeah, it's an interesting fall because it seemed like it was peaked 2 weeks ago, but now I was this morning. It was fantastic again.
Yeah, it's probably the only good thing in 2020.
That's true. Today, our guest is going to be Marc Parish. He's a candidate for the Vermont Senate in Windham County. And but first, we're going to have Marty do some local events, and then we'll get to Marc.
Great. So I know that most of you are familiar, and usually we have a clip of, or we talk about the Our Place benefit, the Fill the Opera House, where you try Our Place challenges the community to fill the entire Opera House with bags of food in every seat in the Opera House. Well, obviously this year they can't do that. So tomorrow, October 15th, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., they're doing a drive-through version. So they still would like to collect just as much food as they normally do. So if you have a bag of food, just bring it, drive it through. If you don't have food and you want to do a check or cash donation, they'll certainly accept those as well. This year has been particularly trying times for Our Place to try to meet the need of the community. So even if you have just a couple of extra food items, throw them in a bag, drive down to Our Place tomorrow between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and drop them off. Super
Okay,
easy
and
social
so
distance.
it's at Our Place. It's not at
Our Place.
It's not at the Opera House.
Nope.
Okay, great.
And then the big news is Bellows Falls Opera House is reopening this weekend. Yay!
Yay!
The movie they're going to be showing is Mamma Mia. It's going to be happening Saturday. They're going to do a 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. showing, and then Sunday is a 5 p.m. showing. Ticket alert: the ticket's price is going up to $6 per ticket.
Yeah, but that's still
That's to
so
help cover.
small.
They're working on a cashless system, like a system where you could actually purchase your tickets online, so you wouldn't have to exchange cash or possibly not be within 6 feet of somebody, blah, blah, blah. So that's the increase of the dollar. But the triple up is staying the same price. They're asking people to come early because it's their first run through. So there's going to be some new procedures. They're going to have ushers available to help people with seating to make sure that everyone's staying 3 seats away from someone else. They can only have 9 people in the lobby at any given time. So the push to get food, they want to make sure they get everybody to get their triple ups and things before they get seated. And then they'll be actually selling the tickets outside.
Yeah,
So you'll get your tickets outside. I think the best thing to do is, if you have any questions, is go to the Facebook page, because there's a big long post on the Facebook page of all of their procedures. But this is pretty much the highlights. And then they're just asking everybody to please just be patient with them, because this is new.
Yeah, definitely. I
procedure.
think that because we talked with them a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying that maybe lining up in the alley to get in, and some other ways of doing it. So that's good.
Great.
Is that it for our
That's it for updates. this
local
week.
events?
Local events.
Yes. All right. Well, our guest today is Marc Parish. Hi, Marc. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Doing great. If I'm talking a little loud, I hope you can hear me. We were just having a little technical difficulty with the mics, so I just wanted to say thanks for coming on the show. And then, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where do you live? Where are you from? What do you do?
So, I moved here about 2.5 years, and to Bellows Falls. So my wife was from Bellows Falls. She grew up in Bellows Falls. Her family grew up in Bellows Falls. So she wanted to come back to where she thought that our kids would be safe, which Bellows Falls is a great town, to raise a family and all. I used to do cable, work at Comcast as an installer. So then I got here and I wanted to get out of it, so now I work at a machine shop, something that's totally different than what I've ever done before. And then this came up where I could run for an election I was going to do it in Florida where we lived, but Florida's pretty big when you break it down, and I wanted to start somewhere small. And Windham County is like the perfect size to start with, and they got great people, you know. So that's what put me into doing this, and that's how I got here.
Oh, that's great. I think you join a lot of people who move to Bellows Falls because it's a nice place to raise your kids. I mean, that's...
It's a beautiful place, you know. Vermont's a beautiful state. It really is. There's just so much to see, and then with the fall, it makes it even beautiful. You know, you get a lot of pictures to send to your family and friends. So Vermont's got a lot going for it.
Yeah. So, what made you decide to run then? What was your motivation?
So the biggest thing that made me want to run is I wanted to give the voice of the people back to the people. You know, since I was little, I used to think, man, what if, you know, wouldn't it be cool to run for a government office, something like this, and to be able to give back to your communities? So when I had the opportunity, I started late. I had to be a write-in, but I did get on the ballot, which was really good. So now the biggest part is just getting elected to help the people. And I think people are on the right track, you know, not just for myself, but whoever they vote for. You know, everybody's getting out there and they are voting, which is the biggest thing. It's your constitutional right to get out and vote. So it pushed me to be able to help my communities. And I think that if we all work together, there's nothing we can't do, you know. And I think that it'll give people their voice. So if they don't know if they got an opinion or something, or they want to change something, they don't know who to go to. So this is great because I'll be able to help them out.
Do you have a question?
I do. What do you see as the three most important, like, topics facing Vermont government right now?
Well, you know, there's three topics that I really like. You know, the first one is our economy. I think we need to work more on bringing our economy up. We have a lot of mom and pop businesses that, because of the COVID, won't be opening, especially if they're paying rent somewhere. So they've been closed all this time. Are they going to be able to have the funds to reopen? It's hard to say. The next one is senior citizens, because I love senior citizens. We're all going to get there eventually. So with that one, I don't think they should pay property taxes after you're retired. And the reason I tell people that is I think the money can be used towards their medication, upkeep on their houses, upkeep on their vehicle. This is the time that they should be able to go enjoy their grandchildren, their kids, just go and have fun. And I think though, after, if something were to happen to them, if the property was sold or transferred, then it would be a reassess. So the next people might be paying more for their taxes on the land and all, but we still got to somehow figure out what we can do for our senior citizens to be able to give them the opportunity to go and enjoy life when they retire, because they put their time in. And then the third one is child care. I think if you start more like a big brother, big sister, the people that are running the place will get paid. So you're employing young adults to run these places. They'll still have to go by codes of local and federal government, but it'll give kids a place where they can learn, go play, be safe, have activities, go mountain climbing, just do all different things. And it helps the parents too, because you're not going to pay, not everybody, say you're paying $200 for child daycare. Depends on what you make, you would go by that. So if somebody's making $50,000, they're not going to pay the same thing that somebody's making $20,000, you know. So it'll help both ways, and it'll give the parents a safe place for their kids too, so they can go to work and not have to worry about it.
I'm going to step one step back. About what do you think about, because one of the big things as far as seniors paying taxes is paying taxes on Social Security income. And a lot of states have decided that shouldn't be taxable income, but Vermont makes that taxable income. How do you feel about that?
I don't think they should be paying taxes on it, you know? They're retired. This is their time to go and enjoy life. They've worked. They've supported their families. It's time for them to go and enjoy. I was talking to somebody that I think it was Medicaid they got on, but they had to take, I think it was D or something like that, but they were paying $400 a month extra with their retirement because they need to pay for the medical. That $400 extra a month, you know, if you didn't have to pay your property taxes, or if they even dropped your property taxes down pretty low for you, that $400 it's like you were paying your property taxes, so it's not going to hurt them. But if you're paying all of your bills normally, like the rest of us, and then you've got that $400 on top of it, or whatever it is for the medical, you know, that's a hit in the pocket. Then they shouldn't have to worry about going to Walmart or wherever to get a part-time job just so they can pay for that.
That's true. I mean, there are a lot of seniors who are sort of on the cusp as far as being able to meet their income and pay their bills.
Right, and I agree.
I'm intrigued with your childcare idea. So as I'm understanding it, you're thinking of like a kind of like a generational facility, maybe, where kids are with older peers, and the peers are the caregivers, and so they're all kind of learning together. Is that, am I grasping the concept correctly?
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
You know, which I think is really good because it's going to employ the young adults. It's going to get them into a field that they're, you know, if you want to get into a field where you're dealing with young children or something like that, this is a perfect opportunity for them, you know. And not only does it help them with employment, but it's helping families that can't really afford daycare and all, and they're pulling out of their pocket every week, you know, and it'll put more money into their pockets.
Good, good. One of the things we talked about a little bit before the show was how you wanted to communicate with people. And I'd just like you to maybe elaborate on that, because when you're talking about being the voice of the people for the people, or bringing the people their voice, how would you do that? Like you told me earlier, but I want to share it with the audience.
Right. So like we were talking earlier, I want to, if elected, I want to go around to every town. I want to be able to talk to every person, you know, and find out what they want, what they don't want. You know, it's not good. It has to be like a majority thing anyways. No matter how we go on doing it, you're going to have the people that like you, that don't like you, no matter what you do. But I want to be able to go around and talk to everybody in Windham County, because they have a voice. This is their town. This is their, you know, this is their county. So I think they should have a voice in what goes on with it in their towns. So like we were talking earlier, how do you do it? Do you do it Zoom meetings, or do you go right to and have it like at a town hall or something like that and do social distancing? It's hard to say right now, you know. I would like to be able to go right to the people and talk to them face to face. I think that's better. It shows that you're more with the people than doing it away from them. You know, in front of somebody, you're not going to just tell them a story and then they're going to walk away. Online, you might be able to tell them something and then walk away from it. But I want to be face to face with them. I want to know their feelings, what they think, how they feel about it. So I think it would be really great.
Yeah, but like you said, that's really difficult to do with with COVID right now. And I guess if you had if you could go to town halls and had small groups, then it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I want to be able to hit every town. So, you know, most of my time will probably be going from town to town, talking with the people. And it's great because like I said, I want them to have the voice. I want them to be able to see a law that comes out before it's signed into law. So like I was saying, I want to put it on the website, let the people give their comments back to it, you know. Is this a good law? No, it's not, and this is the reason why it's not a good law. This is a good law, but we need to change it a little bit for the people themselves.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea, the idea of pushing that out. Because like you and I were saying before, it's a lot of times now you learn about a law after it's been passed, and it's like, oh, okay, or yeah, after it's at least been passed by the House, unless you're really looking on the website, on the state website.
Correct. And a lot of people don't, it's not that they don't know about it, it's they don't, how do you go around to get these laws? How do you go to find out these laws, you know? Do you understand what the law is? So that's what's great about going face to face. Then you can explain the law. You can literally break it down for people that don't understand it.
So are there any particular laws that you either like or dislike right now that are in process or in progress or have just passed?
The one I don't like is the, what is it, the GWSA law, or the act, and then it's for the global warming, because it doesn't exactly tell you, it just says, well, we want to put this many people on a panel to tell the Vermonters what they need to do. You know, they want to cut carbon and all that, which is great, you know, but it doesn't exactly tell you, you know, are we going to take the four-wheelers away, or snowmobiles? Vermont's big on snowmobiles, you know, so if they say, you know, we need to start taking these away, make them electric, you know, how do we go about doing that where it doesn't affect people? You know, people just purchase these snowmobiles. So now we're going to take them away from them and tell them they've got to get an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out, you know, you got to give and you got to take.
Okay.
What thoughts do you have on, you said economy was one of the 3 items you see as important. What are some thoughts that you have on how can we stimulate Vermont's economy and how can we help those small businesses?
So with helping the small mom and pop shops, because Vermont has a lot of mom and pop shops and a lot of them's not going to open. In fact, we have the little coffee shop in Bells Falls that they just closed down, you know, which is a shame. But I think if we can help them with doing something with their taxes, you know, giving them a loan if they need a loan, that the interest is pretty low on the loan, so that they can get back on their feet. This wasn't their fault this happened. This wasn't your fault or my fault. So we need to be able to help the Vermonters get back, if you have a small business, get back on your feet again. And I think that if we can give them a loan, you know, to help them. I don't know if all of them own their own buildings and all, but when you have rent, you're paying, say, $1,200 a month rent, and you've been closed for 3 months. Where's that money going to come from? You know, so it makes it a little rough on the mom and pops.
An interesting point. It's true. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
So you know, a lot of small businesses just barely get by. And then any big devastating, you know, thing that's beyond their control, which all of this was, makes it incredibly hard. So there is some need for government to step in and to help solve that problem. Normally, you know, maybe they shouldn't get involved, but in the case where you're right, it's not their fault.
Right, and how many of them are going to end up having to file for bankruptcy, you know, because of all this? And it's a shame because they put their hard-earned money and time into it. So then now they've got to close the door and figure out what they're going to do next. If they've had these businesses open for so long, you know, 10, 12 years, what are they going to do? They're used to their business. They're used to what they do. So we need to support them.
You're right, and there's a ripple effect too. It's not just that they're not working, but then the people they employ aren't working,
Right.
and the people that they buy supplies from aren't selling supplies, and pretty soon we're in a bad spot. And like you said, it's Vermont. I think it's pretty much most of the economy is small business. It's not big.
We don't have a lot of
That-
industry.
And it's a shame because, you know, we could probably do away with taxes in Vermont because most people, and it's sad to say, but they go over to New Hampshire, to Walmart, the big corporations. It's making the money, you know. They're making theirs. In fact, Walmart just beat their yearly sales again. And why? They were able to stay open, and mom and pop shops had to close down.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to support them. I just went and bought meat from a local farmer. You know, so I'm trying to support the local farmers and get them going because it's hurting them too.
Yeah, it really is. Good point about because there was at one time there was talk about sales tax relief on the border towns, just because of what you're talking about there. Is people, especially if people aren't working, they're trying to make their pennies go as far as they can too, so they're going across the border and.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be supporting another state. We should be supporting our own state, There's just so many people here that that they could use the help. There was people look how many we had that was unemployed just in our own little towns. So I think that if we were able to stop taxes on whatever, the food or whatever it is, to help them out to get started again, I think it'd be great. And I did hear that they were Trump was trying to make it so you didn't pay federal income taxes out of your paycheck, which I don't agree with, because where's that money? They're going to grab that money from somewhere eventually. Are they going to take your taxes or whatever? And these people can use their taxes this year. This is a big year for people.
Yeah, Mark, we have about 3 minutes left. I want to give you that time to sort of summarize what your platform is and how to vote for you, and what you want to have happen.
And I do appreciate being on your show today. So I want to make it, like I talked to you guys before, my platform is more of the people. I want to be able to give them the voice. I want to give them the opportunity to do whatever, to hear what Montpelier has to say, what Montpelier wants to do, what the government wants to do with their pockets, their town, their state. Everything I do, I will put on, it's marcparish.com, marcparish.com, and I'll let the people tell me what they want, what they don't want when I put it on there, so that they have the opportunity, they don't feel left out, because I don't want nobody to feel left out, because this is like I said, this is their state. They have a say in it, and hopefully we can change stuff that we don't like, and then the stuff we like, maybe we can make it better.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you for being on the show. Like we talked a little bit before, I think you should come on Fact TV and do a show and start talking about some of these things. So,
I'd love to.
All right, I hope you'll think about that. Marty, I think that's it for us.
I think that's it. Next week we have Kelly Tully. The following week we're going to have Pat Fowler and Betsy from BIFTA talking about some promotions for downtown and to help downtown merchants. And if you are looking to have something you need to promote, then contact us at the feed and we'll get you on.
Okay, and that's it for the feed. We'll see you next week. Bye. Rockingham.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.